Leo, welcome to your astrology reading for the month of December. So before I jump into the energy of the month, this is going to be most applicable for your rising sign, also known as your ascendant. It's how other people perceive you, especially when they first meet you. It's still applicable for your sun sign, which is how you express yourself, and then your moon sign, which is how you process everything internally through your emotional lens. And so when you understand all three, it kind of gives you a better picture on how the month is going to play out. And so just to quickly touch on the energy of this month. So we have Neptune, Mercury, and Chiron all stationing direct. And then we have Mars stationing retrograde this month. So it's a lot happening. The Mars retrograde, it only happens every 2 years. So that one's one to take note of. So let's just jump into the month here. So right away, for me, it's December 1st. Depending on your time zone, this might be November 30th. For me, December 1st, I'm on the eastern seaboard, and so at 1:21 in the morning, we have a new moon in the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius, I mean, this is a very optimistic, growth-oriented sign, likes to see things from that high-level perspective. A lot of truth-seeking takes place during a Sagittarius season because that's what Sagittarius loves. Same thing with Gemini. They're opposite signs, so that's going to come up here throughout the month. But just to kind of focus on where this is impacting you in your chart, it's in your fifth house. Fifth house, it's kind of all the things that you enjoy doing outside of work. So think of children, your hobbies, any kind of passion projects fall within the fifth house. Short-term relationships, if you're not interested in long-term relationships, short-term are part of this energy, this fifth house energy. And so during this time, you might find yourself more interested in pursuing hobbies, or there might be something connected to children during this time. And so I like the way that this is impacting you because it's really highlighting that house of fun. During this new moon in Sagittarius, there will be a trine to Mars in Leo. And so Mars in Leo is all about you. So whatever it is that you're trying to pursue, whatever fun activities you're trying to go after here, easily blends with whatever you're trying to do, whatever action that you want to take for yourself. It also easily blends with whatever wound has been coming to the surface. Now, I'm saying this because Chiron retrograde in Aries also has a positive impact or a positive aspect to this new moon energy. This is a wound that's been coming to the surface. So if there has been anything that's prevented you from going after something, growth of some sort here, maybe like insecurities or just not feeling like that's achievable for whatever reason, this is giving you an opportunity as you kind of explore and grow something that you enjoy doing. It's giving you an opportunity to do something about that wound, really take some sort of action here to heal it. This new moon will create a square, or, well, it will square Saturn in Pisces. Saturn in Pisces for you is sitting in your 8th house of transformation, so it's death and rebirth. This is all about your goals and your dreams. Pisces, very similar to Neptune energy. This is all about those dreams that you have. What is it that you're trying to accomplish here? Saturn wants you to work on your dreams. And so because it's sitting in your 8th house, is there something here that you need to let go of? If there is, now might not be the right time to focus on that, because the sun and moon in Sagittarius wants you to grow something really fun and really go down the path of exploring something here as it relates to children or something that you're passionate about. So it might not be the right time to release something or make any kind of changes that are meant to kind of put you on a better path towards your goals and your dreams here. You can certainly work with the energy. It just requires effort on your part. And then we have the sun and moon in Sagittarius opposite Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. And so we're going to see some Sagittarius and Gemini showing up pretty much throughout the month here. So Gemini being in your 11th house of friendships, anything that you've been doing to try and grow those friendships, and think of it from like an internal growth, the way that you perceive those friendships, or maybe just the type of friendships you want to have here. And think of the collective. It's not necessarily the individual relationships themselves. And so all of that is going to be opposite anything that you're trying to do, anything that you're growing. So if it's like a kids versus friends scenario, you're trying to spend more time or maybe grow a family, have a family, something along those lines could be highlighted during this new moon for you, versus maybe doing something with your friends and really growing and deepening those connections there. That would be just an example of this opposition energy. Another one could be like if you're just spending a lot of your free time focused on your hobbies versus spending time with your friends right now. And then on the 6th at 6:33 p.m. Eastern Time, we have Mars station retrograde in Leo. And so all that action that you were taking as it relates to your physical person, a lot of that is now going to be directed inward. And that's what Mars retrograde wants you to do. It wants you to look inside. What actions do you need to take for yourself? Because it's impacting your first house, which is your physical self. So these would be things of like maybe getting clear on what actions you need to take as it relates to a fitness program, a diet program, whatever works for you or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish here, because this is connected to your physical body. This Mars retrograde will trine the sun in Sagittarius. So whatever internal action that you need to take for yourself easily flows with any kind of growth and expansion, or maybe even discussions around growing and expanding your kids, hobbies, things like that. It will be opposite Venus and Capricorn. And so Venus and Capricorn for you is sitting in your 6th house. So that's your daily life. And these are things that you value in your daily life, plans that you have in place, kind of that harmony and balance that you already have. If you're looking to take some sort of internal action that has an impact on you physically, which is what Mars retrograde in your sign wants to do, then it will kind of disrupt the balance here. That's where there's this push-pull energy coming into play. And then we have this Mars retrograde in Leo, trine Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And so any kind of internal action that you're taking for yourself, it's going to easily blend with you really understanding what you need to transform in your life in order to make that a reality, in order to see the results that you want here. It will also be opposite Pluto in Aquarius. And so any kind of internal action that you're taking for yourself, it's going to be opposite any changes that might be taking place in a significant relationship. So if you're married, it would be your marriage partner or like a long-term partner here. Could even just be those really close interpersonal relationships. These would be people that they're more than acquaintances. These are really significant people in your life. And so the changes that might be happening within that relationship, if you're married, or like those types of relationships, are going to be opposite any kind of internal action that you want to take for yourself. And it's more of like a me versus we mentality. And then the next day, we have Venus enter the sign of Aquarius. So that's going to happen on the 7th at 1:14 in the morning Eastern Time. And so Venus in Aquarius, I love how this is hitting your chart. So Aquarius is a very liberating energy. Venus likes to bring things together. So anything that might be preventing you from coming together with another person, or might be blocking you from really enjoying this other person and the relationship, because it is in your 7th house. It is that significant relationship. So again, marriage, if you're married, your marriage partner, or your significant other. Whatever it is that you love about this relationship and this person, it's going to easily blend with making any kind of changes or allowing any kind of changes to take place here. This is about releasing all of the stuff that might be preventing you from really enjoying this relationship or this person. So I love how this is impacting you. This Venus in Aquarius will be opposite Mars retrograde in Leo. So now we're back to the me versus we, except now you're focused on the collective, you and this other person, versus just any kind of internal action that you want to take for yourself. We have Venus in Aquarius trine Uranus retrograde in Taurus. So what this means is when you're focusing on your romantic partner, your significant other, marriage partner, it's going to easily blend with whatever changes are happening in your career or public reputation. So Uranus being retrograde indicates that your perception of your career, what changes need to take place, or maybe the way that you perceive it, these would be changes that would be taking place, but it completely lines up with how you feel about your significant other, that relationship, whatever it is that you want within that relationship. So I love the way that this is playing out for you. In fact, this is probably the best one for this energy. So I love that for you. And then we have Venus in Aquarius, sextile Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And so when you think about what needs to change in your life in order for you to accomplish your goals, with what you love and what you value about your partnership here, your significant other, it's creating an opportunity for you to get even more clear on what needs to stay, what needs to go, as it relates to what's in your life, what do you need in order to accomplish your goals, what do you need to release so that you can make those a reality, you can move in that direction. This is really giving you that opportunity. Now, this is one that you would have to seize. It's not going to happen organically, not like with some of the other transits. And then the same day that Venus enters Aquarius, we also have Neptune stationed direct in the sign of Pisces. So also on the 7th at 6:43 p.m. Eastern Time, Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, so this is a lot of this dream, ethereal, let's see what we can do, like the sky is the limit kind of energy. It's really that energy amplified because you've got Neptune in Pisces, and Neptune rules Pisces. So I do like to see that. It is sitting in your 8th house of transformation, so there's a lot of changes that might be happening here, or changes that you want to occur here, because when Neptune was retrograde, you spent a lot of time getting clear on what needed to stay, what needed to go. Now it's about, okay, I don't need to internalize that anymore because I'm clear. And so now externally, what do I need to do? And so this is where I love how this is impacting you. And so when Neptune stations direct, it's giving you an opportunity to focus even more on your significant other, that relationship. What do you love about that? What do you value about that? It's helping you figure out, again, or maybe even helping you actually release what doesn't work for you, what's maybe held you back in that area of your life. Because it's giving you, so it's not just Venus in Aquarius, it's also sextile Pluto in Aquarius. So it really is about helping you release something here that just isn't working for you, or might be holding you back in some sort of way. And then we have Neptune in Pisces trine Mars retrograde in Leo. So whatever it is that you're releasing or holding on to, whatever that transformation is in order to align with your goals and your dreams, it easily blends with whatever internal action that you're taking as it relates to your physical self. And then we have Neptune in Pisces sextile Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And so these dreams that you have sitting in that 8th house, that's that death and rebirth house, it's going to create an opportunity for changes to happen within your work environment. Now I'm going to highlight this. So 8th house, it is a transformation house. There's actually a lot that's covered within the 8th house. One of those is the money that you make at an employer. It's not the money that you have, it's the money that you earn. And so seeing it here, creating an opportunity as it relates to your career, changes within your career. I like how this is flowing together, because this is a lot of synergy between the money that you earn and your career environment here. And so there might be something connected to the money that you bring in, the debt that you pay, as it relates to changes happening in your career. And then we have the full moon in the sign of Gemini. So that's going to happen on the 15th at 4:02 in the morning Eastern time. I personally love this one. So I'm a Sagittarius sun. I was born during the full moon in Gemini many, many years ago. But anyway, I love the way that this one plays out, because both sides of this equation are truth. You've got Sagittarius, that is very much big picture. You've got Gemini, let's get down into the details. Let's figure out what's going on here. So you can kind of see that push-pull. The way that this is impacting you is actually in your 5th house and your 11th house. So 5th house is where it's like optimistic, cheery, let's think big picture. What kind of passions can I go after? How does that relate to children? Whatever topics are more prevalent for you right now in the 5th house, because not everybody's ready for kids or even wants children, or maybe is even at a point in their life where they can have children. And so there's something about the way that you're expressing yourself is coming across very honest, very genuine during this full moon, because again, we've got truth on both sides here. And so there's something about the way that you're expressing yourself, maybe through your hobbies, through your passions. And that could be opposite the way that you feel about your friends right now, but it's more of which one is the dominant energy. Are you focused more on your passions? Are you focused more on your friendships? Because you've got a lot of energy on either side. You can find the happy medium. It is a push-pull. It just requires effort. And then you do have the sun opposite Jupiter retrograde in Gemini, because it's also opposite the moon in Gemini. So how you feel about your friendships, any kind of internal growth that you want within your friendships. So like maybe deepening those connections with those other people. It's going to be opposite any kind of growth and expansion you have as it relates to your passion projects or hobbies, children, things of that nature. And so you can kind of see where that push-pull is coming into play. But because we have the moon and Jupiter near each other, they're in a conjunction. And so how you feel about your friends and any kind of growth that you want with your friendships here, like again, deepening the connections here, those two fully align. So it's something that you really want. It's just a matter of finding that balance between the two. And then we have the sun and moon are actually in a T-square with Neptune and Pisces. And so Neptune and Pisces, we saw, just went direct. This is all about your goals and your dreams. And so really what's happening here is you've got so much that you're trying to grow and expand as it relates to your passions, children, how you feel about your friendships. They're both making it difficult right now for you to really focus on your long-term goals and dreams, but that's okay. That doesn't need to happen right now. Maybe now is not the right time to focus on that during this full moon. The moon is a very fast-moving energy, so it's only going to stick around for a couple of days here, and so it'll be gone before you know it. The sun and moon are actually both in a positive aspect to that wound that's been preventing you from really going after exactly what you want, so that growth that you seek. The sun, so any kind of growth and expansion you want as it relates to your passions, maybe children, something along those lines, it's going to easily flow with whatever wound you want to heal that might be preventing you from going after that, that might be preventing you from your own personal growth and expansion here. How you feel about your friends and maybe even deepening the connection with those people will also create an opportunity for even more healing to take place in that wound that might be preventing you from growing and expanding here. And then the same day as the full moon, we actually have Mercury station direct. So that's going to happen at 3:56 in the afternoon Eastern time. And so we're still going to have the post shadow. That's going to happen until January 2nd, and then we're completely done with any Mercury retrograde energy, but it will start to dissipate over the next couple of weeks. And so when Mercury in Sagittarius, because it likes growth and expansion, so it wants to have high-level conversations, very optimistic, let's see what we can grow and expand. When it was retrograde, it was a lot of inner growth and expansion, understanding the impact of all of it, but now that it's back to being direct, it's that outward expression. And for you, I mean, it's sitting in your 5th house. And so think about your house of fun. So children, hobbies, this is a really big house that's impacted for you this month. And what that's doing is it's creating an opportunity for you to really focus on what you value in your significant relationship. So with your marriage partner, if you're married, or your significant other. If it is about children, this could easily be, I mean, we've got 5th house, 7th house energy happening here. So if you're trying to grow and expand your children, it's giving you an opportunity to maybe focus on more of what you love and what you value in that relationship, in that marriage relationship or that significant partnership. Mercury in Sagittarius will trine Mars retrograde in Leo. And so any kind of high-level, honest, optimistic conversations that you're having as it relates to passions and children here, it's also going to easily flow with whatever internal action that you want to take as it relates to you physically. Mercury is also opposite Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. Not surprised, they're opposing signs. And so when you think about the inner growth that you want as it relates to your friendships, it's going to be opposite any kind of high-level, optimistic conversations you're having and in that house of fun. So your passions, children, things like that. And then Mercury will square Saturn in Pisces. And so when you think about your kind of death and rebirth house, that transformative house, any kind of high-level growth conversations you're having around passions, children, things like that, will make it more difficult for you to really work on what you need to transform in your life in order to achieve your dreams. But it's more of maybe now's not the right time. And while it's making it difficult for you to really work on those dreams, it's not making it difficult for you to see what they are, because you do have Mercury trine Neptune in Pisces. Saturn and Neptune are both in Pisces, but they're pretty far apart from each other at this point. And so with Neptune in Pisces and this kind of easygoing energy between the two, it's really, you know what your dreams are. This is an easy flow of energy between the two. It's just, you're not really in a place to be able to work on it. That's where the friction comes in. That's where it makes it more difficult for you to do. And when it comes to having these kind of high-level, optimistic growth conversations in that house of fun, it's creating an opportunity for changes to take place within your significant relationship. So if it's marriage, your marriage partner, your significant other, so when you, again, more of like children, marriage type of energy. So depending on where you are in your life, that might be the more dominant theme, because that's really showing up here. And so anything that you're trying to do there might help you make changes within that relationship too. And then on the 21st, we have the sun enter the sign of Capricorn. So that's going to happen at 4:21 in the morning Eastern time. I like this. This is the solstice. So I'm in the Northern Hemisphere, and I am very much looking forward to the extra minutes of daylight every single day. And so for you, the sun in Capricorn is sitting in your 6th house of daily routines. So think about all the plans that you have for yourself. What is it that you want to accomplish in your daily life? Daily life incorporates a lot of things. So it's everything that you do on a regular basis. So think of like your health and wellness program, your normal work schedule, sleeping schedule, all of those things are part of your daily life. And so there's something about, you're very driven in this area of your life right now because that Capricorn energy is very ambitious, very driven. And that will create obstacles or challenges to any kind of growth that you might be trying to incorporate in your house of fun. So when you think of passions and children, things like that, it's more of, you've got so much drive focused on doing and making changes or going after implementing some sort of long-term plan in your daily life that it's making it more difficult for you to focus on the growth and the optimism connected to that. It's more of a timing thing than anything else because we saw positive aspects leading up to now. And then on the 29th, we have Chiron station direct. So that's going to happen at 4:13 in the afternoon Eastern time. And so this is that wound sitting there that's probably preventing you from really making the progress that you want as it comes down to any kind of higher education, going after something here that you really want from a growth standpoint. Chiron stationing direct indicates that you've done a lot of reflection on this wound, figuring out where did it come from? What do I need to do about it? And now it's about that kind of, let's focus on healing this. What do you need to do? Well, when Chiron stations direct, the moon and Mercury are both in the sign of Sagittarius. So when you think about your passions or children, something along those lines, anything that you want to do to grow and expand is going to help you heal this wound that's preventing you from growing and expanding. It's just the way that this is working out. The 9th house is all about growth and expansion. Sagittarius is all about growth and expansion. So whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish in your passions or with your children, it's going to really help you here heal this wound or do something about it. And then Chiron in Aries will sextile Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. Jupiter being another planet of growth and expansion, except right now we're talking about inner growth in your friendships. There's something about those friendships, those relationships. Healing this wound, addressing this wound is actually going to help you in that area. It's going to create an opportunity for even more growth in those friendships, the way that you perceive those friendships, the type of relationship, the depth of those relationships. And then at the end of the month, we have the new moon in Capricorn. So we started with the new moon in Sagittarius. We're ending with the new moon in Capricorn. So this one's going to happen on December 30th at 5:27 p.m. Eastern time. And Capricorn, it's in your 6th house. So I love how this is impacting you. This is a lot of getting yourself into the right mindset for the year. You're coming up with a plan. You're coming up with a strategy. What is it that I'm trying to accomplish in 2025? Because here we are, December 30th, January 1st. I mean, it's like a day and a half away from when we have this new moon. And so there's a lot that you're thinking about. There's a lot that you're trying to implement. It aligns with how you feel about the entire situation. It's going to create an opportunity for you to work on your dreams because there is a sextile to Saturn in Pisces. So when you're thinking about the plans that you set for yourself in 2025, working on it is going to be part of it. Working on achieving those goals. It is going to create some friction when it comes to healing that wound about growth and expansion, but it's more of like a timing aspect. So the emphasis here is on this new moon energy impacting your daily life. Okay, let me come up with a long-term plan. What do I need to do? Well, while you're doing that, you're not really working on this wound. You're not trying to address anything in this wound. And so this is where it's creating some obstacles and challenges. But as we've seen through all these months, there's a lot of ebb and flow to this energy, so it's not going to stick around forever. So Leo, this is your reading. I hope it resonates. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care.